everybody, how are you? Welcome back or welcome to Elderflower Stitches. My name is Susie and this is my channel all about knitting, sewing, yarn dyeing and other crafty bits, and also recently it has been a little bit about moving house. So I'm in a very different space today. This is my sewing room, which I feel incredibly lucky to have. So my husband and I recently moved house and we actually bought our very first home. So a very exciting time for us. And as part of that, we had planned that I would have a sewing room in our new home. And here we are. So at the moment it's feeling very empty and very bare, and I'm sure it won't take long to fill it up with lots of things. But for now it's a nice clear space with some desks for my sewing machine, an overlocker, a desk for my computer, and this amazing cutting table, which is what you're on at the moment. So my husband actually built this for me, and it's brilliant. So I can stand up and do my cutting out and packing orders without hurting my back by leaning over something that's too small. So yeah, it's also the perfect height for vlogging and podcasting, and I wanted to make sure it's in front of the window so that I could sit in front of the window and have all the natural light so you can really see the yarn colours and everything when I was podcasting. So yeah, it feels pretty amazing to have a kind of purpose-built podcasting, sewing, packaging space all to myself. So I'm feeling very, very lucky and very grateful. And on that note, I wanted to say a huge thank you to anybody who purchased anything from my Etsy shop over the last year or so. When I started my Etsy shop, I kind of shared that it was because my husband and I were saving up to buy our first house. And yeah, every single order, whether it was for a Progress Keeper set or 5 skeins of yarn, has helped us to get where we are today. So a huge thank you to anyone who's placed an order. It's been like mind-blowing really that we finally got there. Yeah, we've saved up for a long time, and we moved in with my husband's parents for a little while as well, so that we could save up a bit quicker. And in that time our lovely cat Bee had to go live with my mum and dad because my husband's parents have dogs. So it's felt really amazing to be the two of us in our house, and then also having our lovely cat Beatrice back with us too. So really special time, and thank you so much if you have been a part of making this happen. It's amazing. And the next decision really is thinking about where I want the shop to go next, because for those of you that don't know, I also work full-time as a primary school teacher. So my next decision is thinking about how I'm going to balance the two, whether it's feasible for me to carry on teaching full-time and running the shop, or whether I need to make some adjustments there. So yeah, exciting times. I think that having this purpose-built space, I now really want to get sewing and doing fun stuff, and just, yeah, podcasting, making more videos for my channel. And so I'd like to have a bit more time to do that, but obviously we're in the middle of an academic year right now, so I won't be making any decisions too soon, but it is something that I'm thinking about in terms of perhaps next school year. Anyway, with all that waffling done, just checking the camera's still filming because I have had disasters in the past. With all that waffling done, I have decided that what I'll do today is show you what is in all of my project bags, and I will talk to you about the bags because a lot of them are bags from my shop, from different things over the year or so. I'll talk to you about the projects and the dyers. If I think what yarn I've got here. Yeah, I'll just talk to you about everything that's in there. Some of them I haven't made a huge amount of progress since I would last have shown you in my most recent podcast, but I'm going to show you anyway. So yeah, I've got my coffee, I've got lovely Emma Bridgewater mug, yeah, just a pink hearts one. I used to have one with a pheasant on, which I loved, but the handle broke off, and then my husband had the blue starry one, and his handle fell off too, so I don't know, I think it must be a bit of a weakness, but they get a lot of use. I have my morning coffee in it every day, so yeah. Anything else I need to tell you? I'm having a decaf oat latte. I'm a decaf person. I do not respond well to caffeine. It sends me like, ooh. If I ever forget to ask for decaf in a cafe, I really know about it. Within about half an hour, I'm like, super buzzing and on edge. And an oat latte, and I'm trying the Oatly barista because our little coffee machine steams the milk for you at the same time. So I thought I'd give the barista milk a go. So yeah, it tastes pretty good. Let's just get started, shall we? I have no idea which order to do these in or anything. I'm just going to adjust the mirror so I can actually see the camera a bit better. Perfect. Okay, I can see the camera now, so I can make sure everything focuses. I'm just going to start with what is in front of me. So this bag is the Love Hearts bag, and this is from the Valentine's cast on box. So back Valentine's Day, I did a cast on box which had a yarn, and then you could choose from a full skein or 5 minis, and then it also came with a progress keeper and a project bag. And then in here I have got a very cute pastel-y project which kind of fits with the theme of the bag, all pastels and pretty. So has this got a front? Yes, I'm showing the back, sorry. Okay, I need to move my progress keeper. Progress keeper's on the back. I'll put it on where I am up to right now, and then I can actually see my progress. So this blanket is a very simple free pattern. I can't actually remember where I found it now, but basically what you do is, I think you cast on like 3 stitches and you knit back and forward to create the kind of starting point, and then you knit 3, yarn over and knit to the end, turn it around and just do the same again. So you just keep going back and forth, and it creates this yarn over border on both sides, and obviously means that the piece increases. So this is what I've got so far, and I'm knitting this in my Pastel Pride rainbow bundle. So I dyed up a full skein in each of the rainbow colours, and then I'm holding it with a strand of taffeta, which is the Suri Silk and Alpaca, so basically floof from Lay Family Yarns and various other dyes, I think, do the same. Lovely undyed base, which is so gorgeous and really soft. I first found out about this from lovely Jules of So Sweet Violet. Hello Jules, who doesn't like to wear mohair because she finds it quite irritating, and I haven't really had a problem with it, but when I just ordered some of this to see what it was like, it was so soft that I thought, I'm a convert and I will have this. It's also like the slightest bit thicker than mohair, so you get a bit more, it makes projects a little bit more snuggly. So there we go. It goes from pink to peach, yellow, green, blue, lavender and magenta, and then I just did a stripe of undyed and then back to pink, peach, yellow. So I think what I'll do is I think I'll get up to the next undyed stripe and then start decreasing. I'll have to find the pattern again to see how you decrease, but I expect you probably just do a knit 2 together or pass 1 stitch over at the end of one row and then on the end of the next one. It's quite nice that you can just knit to the end then once you've done your increase at the beginning. There's nothing really to remember, so lovely bit of mindless knitting if you're watching something exciting on TV or you're in the car and you can't really look at your knitting too much. So yeah. Oh, and speaking of Jules, this is one of her gorgeous little progress keepers. You see that one's called the Jar of Love, and I think that my husband put that one in my stocking last year. So there we go, and I'm knitting this. I always forget to talk about needles. I use Knit Pro Nova interchangeables just because I've got most of the needle points now, and I find them really helpful. Like they're really easy to knit with because they're not too pointy. So for anything like this where you're just knitting plain, they're so easy to use and great that they're interchangeable, so you can just switch them out. I can just see my husband out in the garden. We got our new compost bin delivered and he's just fussing about where to put it, putting it in the corner. So yes, that's my blanket. It doesn't really have a purpose. I just wanted something that was really easy and really mindless. He's waiting, bless him. So I just thought I'd try that, and I wanted also to try knitting up all the rainbow colours in one project. One project's done. 2, 4, 6, 7 more to go. Are you ready? I hope you're sitting somewhere comfortable and you've got something nice to drink. This bag was, gosh, it's got coffee all over it. That's really bad advertising. It's a bit scrunched up now as well. This was one of my advent bags last year. So last year I didn't do a yarn advent. I did an advent calendar which was Progress Keepers, and then I did a Christmas cast on box which did have yarn in. But this was one of the bags that you could get with either the advent or the cast on box. And in here I have got my Birds of a Feather shawl. So I'm always a bit late to the party with projects. It takes me a while to get started on things. I'm quite a procrastinator. So everyone else has normally finished theirs by the time I've cast mine on. But this is my Birds of a Feather shawl, which I am knitting in one of my colorways. And this is Vintage Lace, which came out earlier this year, and it's on Super Sock. I don't know if I said it was Super Sock for my rainbow bundle, but it was for the blanket as well. And a strand of Vintage Lace taffeta. So I'm holding those, no, I'm not holding them together. You do one section in sock and then a section in mohair. I'm obviously using the alpaca silk. So here's how they look together. And then you get this beautiful, I think I'm showing you the back, sorry. You get this beautiful ridge down the middle of the shawl. I haven't done a huge amount of it actually, and I think I'm just about to hit a lace section. But again, that's quite mindless knitting. You need to remember the increase at the beginning, and then there's a special stitch in the middle to make that lovely ridge, but other than that it's quite simple, and then it goes into a lovely bit of lace that goes a bit wavy, so I don't know whether it's feather and fan, or I haven't had a look yet, but that's one that I started back in spring, I think. Is that wonky in the middle? Looks like it's going off at an angle, doesn't it? Oh dear, I'll have to rip that back. These are Knit Pros again. I think they're 4mm. I think the same size as the other one. I've got so many tips and cables from my Knit Pros because I just get on with them so well for things like this. I think there's even a spare pair of needles in this bag as well. Okay, project 2. Still recording. I've had so many disasters where I've been talking to the camera for about half an hour and it's not actually recording. And it's quite disheartening. I'm sorry that the background is quite boring. I'm going to put a nice ladder shelf, I think, behind me so they've got something pretty to look at when I'm waffling on. Oh, this one. So this bag, probably shouldn't have taken that out halfway through, should I? Right, here we go. This bag was just one I released earlier on in the year. I used to put a little key ring on the outside, but then I realised actually it's quite, it can catch on things, so I just put a little D-ring on there now. Yeah, so it wasn't for anything special, it was just a bag that I released. And then I am knitting still the beautiful Gardenia Stole by Shawl Toy of Little Church Knits. Hi Cheryl. She was so kind and gifted me this pattern and a copy of the pattern for a podcast giveaway which happened, I think it was podcast 8, and then the results were in podcast 9. And I am knitting it in. So I'm knitting my Gardenia Stole in point shoes, which is one of my first 2 colorways. So when I first started yarn dyeing, my first collection was the Back to Ballet collection, which was inspired by me going to ballet classes as an adult beginner. And I dyed up this really delicate peach. It's looking lovely. Anything I need to tell you about this? I don't know, I feel like I talked about this a lot on other podcasts. It's gorgeous, lots of really intricate, beautiful lace work, which I was quite intimidated by, but actually I got the hang of. And I love knitting it. Now I'm just onto the knit section until I make the second part. So I'm kind of tempted just to keep knitting and do one long bit rather than a second one, and then, because you're supposed to do 2 and then kitchen and them together in the middle, but I think I'm just going to do one long one and then finish it off just completely plain, so just have lace on one end of it. Just something obviously made me sneeze from in that project bag, like, whew. Right, 4 down, 5 to go. What's in here? Oh, this was the bag that went with the Back to Ballet yarn collection. This was the tutus and tights bag because the lovely little snowdrops reminded me of tutus. And in here I have got a blanket, obviously, which, you know, this would keep you warm, wouldn't it? So I'm not really much of a crocheter, but I thought I'd give it a go to have a nice blanket. Nice, simple, easy knit. So this is in my Buttermint colourway, which was from my second collection, the Truly Scrumptious collection. And it's this lovely, like, a buttery toffee colour with then some, like, darker caramel splashes. And that is being held double with a strand of undyed opulence. And opulence is alpaca, silk and cashmere. It's a gorgeous, really soft base. So holding the 2 of those together, I haven't done very much of that at all. I probably should just frog that so the yarn can be used for something else, to be honest. But there we go. Oh, this is very sweet. So this is a free pattern. It's the Flax Light by Tin Can Knits. I don't know why I haven't got the front page of it, but I'll show you that. And I'm knitting the newborn size because my friend is having a baby. Oh, there it is. Oh no, it's not. So I'm very excited about that. I won't tell you which one because it's top secret at the moment. But I thought I would knit it in this sweet little unisex colourway. It's a little peppermint green. This is my Icy Breath colourway. So I knit a pair of socks in this. It was a Miss Marple pattern and it looked so beautiful in the lace, and then I thought I had some left over and I thought it would be just enough to make a cute little newborn jumper. So I've got a bit more to do on the body and then do little tiny sleeves. And that's the colourway. And this one is in my lovely bag from Rachel. It's so ringy. It's even got little Rachel on there. Hi Rachel. So I love that one, very sweet. This one actually, this little bag was actually my lunch bag for a little while because it's just the right size for a packet of crisps and a sandwich. So I hope you don't mind that, Rachel. I'll put the hat back in there so I don't forget. Another one. Are you ready? Are you coping okay? Oh, there's nothing in there. That's just an empty project bag. Shall I show you the bag though before I... Oh, it's got little Mabel on there too. So this was the other option, my advent calendar last year. You could have the bag in blue or green, and this is the green one. It's the same fabric as the tutus and tights. And there's Mabel. Hi Mabel. Nearly there. Nearly there. What have we got in here? Secret things. Oh, another jumper. Secret things in there. I can show you this. Okay. So this gorgeous colour is an Olan, who's a lovely Irish dyer, and it's in the colour Underwater Ballet. Gorgeous. And I started knitting the flax light in the newborn size, and I split off for the sleeves and have actually finished the body, and I'm knitting the sleeves now. However, I realised I made a bit of a mistake, and you might be able to tell. I didn't cast on any extra stitches before I started knitting the sleeves, before I started knitting the rest of the body, so it's absolutely tiny. I've decided to carry on, and then I thought it could be for like a premature baby, so if I know somebody who has one of those, hopefully not, but if not, then I'll probably just donate it, I think. And this bag, probably one of my favourites actually. It's gorgeous, Liberty. Almost all of the fabrics I've shown you, except for the tiny pink flowers, are Liberty fabrics. Just love Liberty. This wasn't for a particular collection, was just like a random fabric that I released, and there's a lovely So Sweet Violet pin on there as well. Nearly there. And this bag is my Flower Power Fund bag. So in August I was the bag maker for the wonderful Flower Power Fund, and this is, all the others are round based bags, but this one is a square based bag, and actually I love it. It stands up really nicely. It's got a bit of extra room in there, so it's slightly bigger, and I think that in future I will probably make square based bags as standard and have an option for the round based bag, because this is my favourite of all of the bags. I find it a lot easier to fit in my handbag because it's square, it just like slots into my bag rather than the round ones. So this was the Flower Power Fund bag, and it's another gorgeous fabric from Liberty. I think it's from their Spring Flower Show collection. And here is a long-standing WIP. I really must finish because it's going to be completely beautiful when it's done. And it is, I haven't got the pattern in here, it's by Refined Knitwear, who is a wonderful designer and makes the most simple, beautiful patterns with the most delicate feminine details, like little puff sleeves, which obviously I'm a fan of, little wrap details, and just so beautiful, but really still quite understated and pretty. So this is the Eaus, it's E-I-U-S, so I don't know how you pronounce that, but sweater, and it's got a beautiful puff sleeve, a little raglan sleeves on there. So I'm on the body, and it's getting there, but I haven't really knit on it for a long time, and I'm knitting this in my vintage silk colourway, which is like a kind of grubby pink, very delicate grubby pink colour. And I'm holding a super sock with taffeta again. Went through a bit of a phase with the super sock and taffeta. So yeah, that's my sweater which I'm working on. I've got the sleeves on cables and just put these little stoppers on there, so I don't need to pick them all up off scrap yarn, which I find very tedious. And basically any opportunity to procrastinate and stop knitting I seem to take and then flip to another project instead. So yes, that's extra handy. And then you only need to pick up the ones along the underarm. So I need to get cracking on that. Right, well, I need to get cracking on this whole pile of project bags that I have here, but there we go. Another one. I do have one more project bag that I can't find, and in it has probably my most exciting knit and the one that I was working on in my recent vlog when we went up to IKEA. Up to IKEA? Across to IKEA? We're in East Sussex and it's in Hampshire, so I think it's across. I know I'm pointing that way. That's the sea. We didn't go in the sea, we went that way. Yes. But I can't find that one, and it's the Chanterelle socks by Danny of Little Bobbins. And I am the worst test knitter in history because I still haven't finished them, and I apologise profusely to Danny because I just didn't manage to get them finished. So I ended up buying a pattern because I felt so bad. But I'm knitting those in my Cinderella Slippers colourway with undyed flossy or mohair. So here is one more bag, and this is from the So Sweet Violet Advent from last year, and it's absolutely chock-a-block with notions. So I keep all my pins on there as well. Those are both So Sweet Violet ones. And then this one was from Zoe Nichols. She's from North Carolina, and this is the North Carolina pin. I looked up which way around North Carolina is so that I got it the right way around on my bag. This one I got from the Knitting and Stitching show years ago. I think about 3 years ago. And then this lovely little cat lady one here is so cute. I got one of these for Zoe when we did a swap. I didn't finish saying that, did I? Zoe and I did a swap and she sent me this one. And I sent her that one and also got one for myself. So there's all sorts in here. I won't show you everything, but I just thought I'd show you because it's my little notions bag. This is a cute little washcloth from Marie from Australia. Hi Marie. She sent this to me. She came over to London and we were going to try and meet up, but it just didn't happen because I think she had such a busy time visiting people when she was here. But she posted me a little package of some lovely yarn that she had dyed and from Australian dyers, and then made me this gorgeous little washcloth and some other bits. I can't bring myself to use it, but I just keep it with all my knitting things. I'll just see if there's anything of interest in here to show you. I don't think so. I've got my little needle gauge. Loads of other stitch markers and progress keepers and needles and things. So I was just waffling on. It's full of notions. All the usual things that you would find in a knitting notions bag. Okay. Right. Acquisitions. I only have one. It's a very special one. I have treated myself to 2 advents this year because I'm going to do Vlogmas. I'm going to take a bit of a break from the shop during Vlogmas just to be able to really focus on it, do lots of knitting, kind of have a bit of a month off from yarn dyeing and sewing, and just, unless I feel like doing it for myself, I will just take a bit of a break. Because basically since I opened the shop last August, I haven't really had a proper break. I've just kept going. So I treated myself to 2 advents plus my one I'm going to open them and do Vlogmas and have a lovely Christmas basically. So one I treated myself to is the gorgeous Nora George. I treated myself to the beautiful Nora George Advent. If you have got the Nora George Advent and you don't want to look inside, look away now, because I'm going to, I'm going to show you what's inside. So I'm not going to, there is a list of, there's a list of the colourways and bits inside which I haven't looked at, but here is the beautiful packaging. So the theme of the Advent is the Secret Garden. How gorgeous, just all the artwork and everything. I love the pastels, I love the gold. Beautiful, beautiful. And then the actual Advent, which this is an amazing idea and would have saved me a huge amount of time. The actual Advent is in like an Advent calendar box. Can you see that? So each day, I don't know what I was saying. They're talking about the Advent, I think. Anyway, treated myself to that, and also the full skein for Christmas Day. So how beautifully packaged is that? Lovely. One last thing to show you before I go. So before I close my shop for Christmas, I am doing one last lot of yarn dyeing, and it is my Christmas colorways. I was being asked about Christmas colorways back in like September, and I probably should have got more organised with it then, but I didn't. So here we go. This is, they are all themed around festive drinks, so they're the Festive Tipple collection. This is golden blackberry dram. A dram is whiskey mixed with Prosecco or champagne. And in this case, it's homemade blackberry whiskey mixed with Prosecco. So there's like lovely blackberry plummy colours and some champagne gold colours. So that's golden blackberry dram. And then we have, I think my favourite, and that's Sloe Gin Fizz. Sloe as in S-L-O-E, which are berries that grow on sloe trees. Is it the, it's not the hawthorn. Grow on a tree. I should know that because I'm forest schoolie for our school as well. So it's beautiful, like pinky, raspberry, berry, pink, and then some like speckles of champagne gold in there as well. So that is Sloe Gin Fizz. Then we have Fandolini, which is a personal favourite drink of mine. So a couple of Christmases ago, we bought Joe's brother Will a bottle of Thunder Toffee vodka, and we thought it would be great to mix that with Prosecco and make Fandolinis instead of peach bellinis. So yeah, we made it to about 9 o'clock in the evening before we fell asleep, I think. So it's like a toffee caramel colour with then some speckles of champagne in there again. So there's speckles of champagne going through all of them to kind of tie them all together. And then we have Bucks Fizz, which is a Christmas classic here in the UK. Bucks Fizz is orange juice mixed with Prosecco or champagne or Cava or Brut, whatever you have, something fizzy. And we always have it at Christmas, so it's like golden orange with some speckles of champagne gold again. Yeah, yummy. And finally, New Year's Eve champagne, so something a little bit more delicate and just lovely golden, warm champagne gold colours. There you go. And I am doing a festive cocktail, which is all of them together. Here they are, all together. So you can have all of them together. I think this end is my favourite with the speckly bits. On full skeins. And then I'm also doing a festive mini cocktail, which is one of each on a little mini skein. So a set of 5 minis. And I am dyeing up just a few mini festive cocktails on mini DKs. So yeah, yawn. So they will be in the shop until next Friday. So Friday the 6th, Friday the 13th. And then that will be it. So that will be all of my that will be all of my dyed to order stuff finished for the year. I might be having a few ready to ship bits during Advent. I'm undecided about that, but I'm thinking about it. Other than that, yeah, I'll probably be taking a little bit of a break from yarn dyeing, but you will see lots of me on YouTube and Instagram as I'll be taking part in Vlogmas. And yeah, that will be it for my dye to order this year. I am going to have a little bit of a sale with some ready to ship bits, just samples from earlier on in the year and some leftover sock clubs, that kind of thing. So look out for that. Once I get some photos of that, it will be up, so probably within the next week or so, and I'll try and get those shipped out to you before the start of December in case they are your Christmas presents. So there'll be a little discount on those because they've been samples and that kind of thing. So that's it from me, my first podcast from the house. How exciting. First podcast in the sewing room. The light in here is amazing, so I hope that the colours and everything have shown up really nicely. Yeah, it's lovely to have a purpose-built space for it. And also we have a little bridle path along the back of our garden, literally like our fence and a bridle path, and I can see people cycling along and riding horses and children scootering along with their grown-ups, so it's a really sweet place to sit. However, the radiator is underneath the table and my legs are so warm, so I think I'm going to head out to the garden and cool off and hang out in the washing. But thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you very soon. Bye! What's outside, Bee? What's out there? Hey?